Kia ora. Well, welcome along to the Met Service National Forecast for Friday and through in towards the weekend. To start things off, high pressure sits across most of New Zealand. You can see from the satellite picture there's plenty of clear sky, especially across the South Island and those lower parts of the North Island. To the north, though, we have got a little bit more cloud, and that's a little bit of a hint of what we've got coming up as we head through the weekend. Some more unsettled weather return towards those northern parts, so stay tuned to the forecast as we head through towards Sunday. But for the rest of this afternoon for Friday, many spots are set to stay dry and fine, especially across the South Island. Up towards the North Island, a little bit more cloud around this eastern coast, and up in towards Northland and Auckland, a few showers to watch out for, but very much the exception rather than the rule. For many of us, it's a fine, dry and settled looking afternoon on Friday. As we head in towards the night time, this high pressure continues on its journey out towards the Chatham Islands, and for many of us it's a dry night. You'll notice we're getting a bit more of a feed of air on towards those far southern and western parts of the country, in towards places like Fjorden, some wet weather there. And up north you can see with this northeasterly feed of air, we'll find places like the Coromandel and Northland catch more cloud and showers as we head through the night time. But there is a big difference in the temperatures across the far northern parts of the country compared to down towards the south. Up north, we've got all this warm, moist air feeding back towards us. And look at these minimum temperatures up towards Northland, 15 degrees Celsius there. A very warm, very muggy night. And it's worth saying we've got a few more of those coming up as we head in towards the end of this week and the start of next week. Down south, we've still got some nice clear skies and some of that cool air with us, so a cold, crisp night again as we head through towards the early hours of Saturday morning. So speaking of Saturday, for the South Island, high pressure pretty much dominates the situation. More cloud on that western coast, and we have got some rainfall feeding towards Fjordland and Westland. Head towards the north, and you can see the next system starting to arrive. It's really late in the day, but we are going to find ahead of this wet weather, we find more cloud across the top of the North Island, those strengthening easterly winds as well, and some heavy rainfall feeding towards Northland. As we head down towards, say, south of Waikato, generally there's still some pretty decent clear skies and some nice spells of sunshine, but I think we are going to find that wet weather is edging closer towards us as we head through Saturday. So for the north, we are going to find that there is that cloudiest conditions across the northern parts and across the eastern parts of the country. Some showers still with us and towards, like I say, Gisborne, more especially through to Coromandel, Auckland and up in towards Northland. Those showers in Northland turn to longer spells of rain as we head towards the end of the day, accompanied by some pretty strong, gusty easterly winds. So there are some watches starting to kick off from really late in the day, from around about 9 o'clock or so, across the far northern parts of the country. You can see like, south of Waitomo and south of Waikato into Waitomo, down towards Taranaki, Wanganui, down towards Kapiti Coast and Wellington. Generally, it's a fine, dry and fairly settled story. With the return of that really warm, muggy air, it's a very warm day up in the north, 20 degrees Celsius there for likes of, say, Auckland, and our nighttime temperatures still into the high teens, a very warm night to come as we head through in towards the early hours of Sunday morning. For the South Island, well, with that high pressure really ruling the roost, there's plenty of dry weather across the island. There will be more cloud on that western coast. You can see that piles in there towards Westland and Fjorden, and some wetter weather as well through parts of Fjordland and those southern parts of Western. But generally, the story for the North Island, for the South Island, is one of dry and settled weather. Some decent spells of sunshine through the daytime for the likes of, say, Christchurch, as we head in towards the afternoon on Saturday. Now, in terms of our temperatures, we've still got some pretty nice daytime highs, around about 16s and 17 quite widely across our patch. You'll notice the temperatures are a little bit cooler on the South Island compared to the much milder North Island as we head through towards the early hours of Sunday. Those clear skies helping to just meaning those temperatures can just drop away a little bit as we head in towards Sunday. As we go through Sunday, that low pressure to the north continues to push down towards us, dragging that warm, moist air, the cloud, the wet weather, and those stronger winds in towards Northland, Auckland, the Coromandel, and perhaps even that western part of the Bay of Plenty as well. So there are some severe weather watches as we go through in towards Sunday across those northern parts of the country. You can see by the end of the day, that rainfall feeds down towards parts of Taranaki, even in towards the top of the South Island as well. Head down towards the far southern parts, you're pretty much the best place to be this weekend. Places like Southland, Otago, parts of Canterbury, set fine and dry throughout the weekend. But up north, we are going to keep a very close eye on that rather active area of low pressure. And like I say, at the moment, we have got some severe weather watches in place, both in terms of strong winds and heavy rainfall for Northland, for Auckland, particularly those northern parts, north of the Harbour Bridge, Great Barrier Island, and also a heavy rain watch for the Coromandel as we go through Sunday and into Monday. We'll find those winds and rain picking up from around about late Saturday up through Northland. But generally, the wettest and windiest time is as we go through Sunday in towards Monday as well. So worth keeping an eye on those watches and warnings. They may well be upgraded as we go through the weekend. The other thing to bear in mind, this area of low pressure, as it sinks in from the north, will be driving a fair amount of sea and swell down towards us. Waves perhaps 5 or 6 metres around some of those northern coasts. So that's another thing to just keep an eye on as we head through the weekend. That's it from me. There's more at metservice.com.